This episode is brought to you by Glorify, the #1 Christian daily devotional app. Everything around us changes. God doesn't. That's why I love Glorify's 21-day challenge. It helps me build a simple habit of meeting with God every day. No pressure, just consistency. With Glorify, you can start your morning by reading the Bible passage of the day, diving into Glorify's daily devotional, and wrapping up with an immersive experience called Daily Walk with God. And if you need to take a few minutes to yourself in the middle of a busy day, try one of Glorify's guided meditations, or listen to their curated worship playlists for some quiet reflection. To end the day, enjoy Glorify's sleep meditations to help you wind down and put your mind and heart at ease. Whether you're a committed Christian or simply curious about faith, Glorify has something for you. Join over 20 million people who have downloaded the Glorify app and deepened their relationship with God. Listeners to the show can get full access to Glorify for just $29.99 for the entire year. That's Glorify's lowest price ever when you download the Glorify app now at glorify-app.com/redcircle. Feel closer to God this year with Glorify. Get full access all year for just $29.99 at glorify-app.com/redcircle. That's glorify-app.com/redcircle.
Have you ever looked back at your life and felt a pang of regret for the years you perceive as wasted? Perhaps they were spent in the wrong job, in an unfulfilling relationship, or lost to mistakes and missed opportunities. But what if I told you that those years were not wasted? That God, in His infinite mercy and love, has a plan to restore them, turning your past into a powerful testimony of His grace and redemption? You may be carrying around guilt and shame from past mistakes. You may be haunted by the memories of what could have been if only you had done things differently. But here's the truth. God doesn't bring up past failures to condemn us. He brings them up to heal us. He wants to take those painful experiences and use them as a stepping stone for growth, for redemption, and for transformation. Life often feels like a series of missed chances and broken dreams. We look back at the days gone by and wonder what might have been. But the story doesn't end with regret. God promises in Joel 2 verse 25, "I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten." This divine assurance isn't just poetic. It's a guarantee that no matter what has happened, your best days are not behind you, but ahead. Imagine a future where every lost moment is redeemed and every tear has a purpose. The image of locusts is a powerful one. Locusts are known for their destructive nature, devouring crops and leaving behind barren land. In the same way, there are seasons in our lives when we feel like locusts have invaded, stripping us of our dreams, hopes, and productivity. It could be an illness that halts our plans, a financial crisis that sets us back, or a personal failure that leaves us ashamed and discouraged. But God, in His infinite mercy, offers to make up for lost time. He doesn't want us to remain stuck in regret, wishing we could turn back the clock. Instead, He desires to heal our wounds, replenish our losses, and set us on a new path, one that is more beautiful and fulfilling than we could have imagined. Consider the story of Joseph, whose life seemed filled with wasted years. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and imprisoned unjustly, Joseph had every reason to believe his best years were stolen from him. Yet, God was working behind the scenes. When Joseph emerged from prison to become the second most powerful man in Egypt, it was clear that God had not only restored his years, but elevated him beyond his wildest dreams. Your story can echo this redemption. Like Joseph, you may feel that your current circumstances have buried your dreams, but God sees the whole picture. He knows the exact moment when your situation will shift and your breakthrough will come. He is working even when you can't see the fruits of your labor, and He will bring you to a place of abundance and fulfillment. Restoration begins with faith. It requires believing that God is both willing and able to renew your life. Hebrews 11 verse 1 reminds us that faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. This conviction is the seed from which restoration grows. Picture a barren field suddenly bursting with flowers. This is what God can do with the desolate areas of your life. All He asks is that you trust Him to cultivate the ground. One of the most profound aspects of God's restoration is His ability to use even our mistakes for His glory. Romans 8 verse 28 tells us that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him. Every misstep and failure becomes part of a grand tapestry, woven with threads of grace and mercy. Think about that for a moment. Your darkest hours can be transformed into the brightest testimonies simply because God is in the business of turning ashes into beauty. Restoration can bring unexpected blessings. Ephesians 3 verse 20 proclaims, "Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us." God's blessings often exceed our expectations. Picture a gift, beautifully wrapped, containing more than you ever dreamed. God's restoration is like that gift, filled with surprises beyond your imagination.
This episode is brought to you by Glorify, the #1 Christian daily devotional app. Everything around us changes. God doesn't. That's why I love Glorify's 21-day challenge. It helps me build a simple habit of meeting with God every day. No pressure, just consistency. With Glorify, you can start your morning by reading the Bible passage of the day, diving into Glorify's daily devotional, and wrapping up with an immersive experience called Daily Walk with God. And if you need to take a few minutes to yourself in the middle of a busy day, try one of Glorify's guided meditations, or listen to their curated worship playlists for some quiet reflection. To end the day, enjoy Glorify's sleep meditations to help you wind down and put your mind and heart at ease. Whether you're a committed Christian or simply curious about faith, Glorify has something for you. Join over 20 million people who have downloaded the Glorify app and deepened their relationship with God. Listeners to the show can get full access to Glorify for just $29.99 for the entire year. That's Glorify's lowest price ever when you download the Glorify app now at glorify-app.com/redcircle. Feel closer to God this year with Glorify. Get full access all year for just $29.99 at glorify-app.com/redcircle. That's glorify-app.com/redcircle.
God's restoration is a process, not an event. Philippians 1 verse 6 assures us, being confident of this, that He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Trust that God is continually working in your life. Let's not forget the power of forgiveness in the process of restoration. Holding on to past hurts can anchor us in the very years we wish to move beyond. But when we forgive, we break those chains and allow God to heal our hearts. Imagine the freedom and lightness that comes with letting go of grudges, making space for God's love to flood in. As we journey through life, it's easy to feel disqualified by our past. But God's restoration is not dependent on our worthiness. It's rooted in His grace. Isaiah 43 verse 18 and 19 urges us to forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. God is not concerned with where you've been, but with where He's taking you. Picture a painter starting with a blank canvas, ready to create a masterpiece. That's what God is doing with your life right now. God's restoration brings fulfillment. John 10 verse 10 declares, I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. God doesn't just want to restore you. He wants to give you a life that is full and abundant. Picture a cup overflowing with blessings, more than you can contain. This is the fullness of life that God offers. The journey of restoration often requires patience. Psalm 27, verse 14 advises us to wait for the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Think of a gardener waiting for seeds to sprout. It takes time, but the harvest is worth the wait. Your restoration is coming. It may not happen overnight, but it will come in God's perfect time. Think of a garden that has been neglected for years. Weeds have overtaken the flowers, and the soil has hardened. This is how life can feel during our wasted years. But with God, as our master gardener, He can uproot the weeds of regret and replant seeds of hope. He can break up the hard soil of our hearts, allowing new growth and beauty to emerge. We must also be open to change. God's restoration may lead us down paths we never anticipated. Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6 encourage us to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. Sometimes, this means stepping out of our comfort zones and embracing new opportunities. Picture a river changing course to find its way to the sea, carving a new path where none existed before. God's restoration is often accompanied by peace. Philippians 4, verse 7 speaks of the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, that will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. This peace is a sign that God is at work, even when circumstances seem unchanged. God's restoration often includes aligning us with our purpose. Your life has a divine purpose, and God's restoration will align you with it. That's you, finding your purpose in God's grand design. God's restoration brings joy. Psalm 126, verse 5 promises, "Those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy." The tears you've shed are not wasted. They are seeds sown in faith. Picture a farmer rejoicing at the sight of a bountiful harvest. This is the joy that awaits you. Your mourning will turn to dancing, your sorrow to laughter, as God restores your joy. Restoration brings clarity. 1 Corinthians 13 verse 12 tells us, "For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known." As God restores your life, you'll gain a clearer understanding of His plans and purposes. Picture a fog lifting, revealing a beautiful landscape. This clarity will guide you forward with confidence. In the process of restoration, it's important to guard your heart. Proverbs 4 verse 23 advises, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Protect your heart from negativity and doubt, and fill it with God's truth and promises. Imagine a garden with a strong fence, keeping out weeds and pests. Guarding your heart ensures that the seeds of restoration can grow and flourish. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast desert, feeling the weight of lost opportunities and broken dreams. But just beyond the horizon, a lush oasis awaits, promising renewal and abundance. This is the story of God's restoration, a story that can transform your life. Imagine the pain of a broken relationship, the heartache of lost friendships, or the sorrow of family estrangement. God's promise of restoration brings healing to these wounds, mending broken bonds and rekindling love and trust. Now, brothers and sisters, how can God restore your wasted years? Well, keep watching. Here are some of the ways. 1. Turn scars into stars. God has the power to transform our deepest wounds into points of light and beauty. Imagine the night sky, with each star representing a scar from our past that God has turned into a beacon of hope. Your story, once marked by pain, can now shine brightly, guiding others who walk through the darkness. 2. Reviving dormant dreams. God can breathe life back into dreams that we thought were dead. Picture an old withered tree suddenly bursting into bloom. Those dreams you buried long ago can be resurrected, blooming with vibrant colors and new possibilities as God breathes His life, giving breath upon them. 3. Weaving a new tapestry. God takes the fragmented pieces of our past and weaves them into a beautiful tapestry. Each thread, representing a moment in time, is intricately woven together to create a masterpiece. Your life, once a collection of broken strands, becomes a work of art in God's hands. 4. Restoring with double portion. God promises to repay us for our losses with a double portion of blessings. God's restoration isn't just about replacing what was lost, but multiplying it beyond our imagination. 5. Healing through creation. God's creation is a powerful symbol of restoration. Picture a once polluted river running clear and teeming with life again. Just as nature heals and renews itself, God can purify and rejuvenate the parts of our lives that have been tainted by sin or sorrow, making them flow with life once more. 6. Rediscovering hidden talents. God can uncover and develop talents we never realized we had. Imagine a sculptor chiseling away at a rough block of stone, gradually revealing a stunning statue within. God can uncover hidden gifts within us, shaping us into individuals who reflect His creativity and purpose. 7. Turning trials into triumphs. Our trials can be transformed into testimonies of triumph. Picture a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis, transformed from a caterpillar that struggled to crawl to a creature that soars effortlessly. Your struggles can give birth to a new strength and freedom as God uses them to elevate you. 8. Reclaiming lost time. God can supernaturally accelerate our progress, making up for lost time. Imagine a sundial suddenly spinning forward, catching up on the hours that were missed. God's ability to redeem time means that the years we thought were wasted can be filled with rapid growth and progress. 9. Transforming regret into redemption. God can turn our regrets into stories of redemption. What we see as mistakes, God sees as opportunities to create something uniquely beautiful. 10. Planting new seeds in old soil. God can bring new life out of old, barren soil. Imagine a garden that has lain fallow for years, suddenly sprouting with new, vibrant life. God can take the parts of our lives that seem unproductive and use them as fertile ground for new growth and opportunities. 11. Restoring joy with laughter. Imagine a room filled with echoes of joyful laughter, each peal representing a moment of sorrow turned into joy. 12. Writing a new chapter. God can help us turn the page on past and write a new chapter in our lives. Picture a book with blank pages ahead, waiting to be filled with new stories and adventures. God's restoration is like a new beginning, offering us the chance to write a fresh and hopeful narrative. 13. Filling empty vessels. God can fill the empty places in our lives with His abundance. Imagine a row of empty jars being filled to the brim with precious oil. Where there was once emptiness, God pours out His blessings until our lives overflow with His goodness. 14. Reigniting passion. God can reignite the passion and enthusiasm we once had. Picture a campfire that has dwindled to embers, suddenly roaring back to life with vibrant flames. God can rekindle the fire within us, restoring our zeal and drive for the things that matter most. 15. Turning barrenness into fruitfulness. Where there was once desolation, God brings forth life and abundance, transforming our barren seasons into times of fruitful harvest. 16. Redeeming through beauty. God can create beauty from our ashes. Our brokenness and pain can be turned into something extraordinarily beautiful by God's loving and creative touch. 17. Restoring hope with promises. God's promises restore our hope. Imagine a rainbow appearing after a storm, each color representing a promise from God. These promises remind us that after the darkest storms, God's covenant of hope and restoration shines brightly, guiding us forward. 18. Empowering with new strength. God infuses us with new strength to face the future. Picture an athlete receiving a surge of energy, enabling them to finish a race with power and determination. God's restoration gives us the strength to overcome obstacles and achieve what we once thought impossible. So, as you move forward, let this be your anthem. The years the locusts have eaten, God will restore. Hold on to this truth. Let it fuel your faith, and watch as God brings beauty from ashes, joy from mourning, and a garment of praise from a spirit of despair. Thank you for joining us on this journey of restoration. May your heart be filled with hope, your spirit be uplifted, and your life be a testimony of God's amazing power to redeem, renew, and restore. Until next time, keep trusting, keep believing, and keep your eyes on the one who makes all things new.